Hello crafty friends, welcome to another background busting video. Today we're going to use a cover plate die to die cut from our backgrounds, and I've chosen 4 backgrounds that work well together, I think. So this one is embossed with dry embossing and gilded with some DIY gilding wax that I made with pigment powders. These may well be from the smushing video that I did. That's definitely one of the smushing videos. So we've got smushing and embossing and gilding. So these two I'm going to die cut as is, but I think these two I want to do something on top of the colour that's already there. For this one I've just got a rubber stamp and I'm going to ink it up with peacock feathers. It's got lines and dots on, kind of wobbly, and I'm going to pop that on there and press it on. So I think the ink I used for the smushing was peacock feathers, so I'm going tone on tone. There, that's fine. For this one I'm going to spatter and heat emboss. So I've got some PVA glue here. This is just school glue, wood glue, Elmer's glue, white glue, and I'm going to mix it with a bit of water and spatter it. Get some quite big splats, and I'm using this mixture of glue and water because I feel that it stops the embossing powder blowing away. If you were to splat with just water, the water evaporates very quickly when you get a heat gun on it, and the powder can blow away or not stick properly. And this is some rose gold embossing powder, which I'll shake on. I haven't treated this with anti-static powder because it doesn't matter if powder sticks where I didn't intend it to, because it's meant to look splatty and grungy. And now I'll heat that with my heat tool. You can heat from above or underneath. I'm going to start underneath, and then if that's too slow, because sometimes I find heating from underneath is too slow. If that's too slow, I'll go from above. But if you heat from underneath, that's another way of stopping the powder blowing away. So there we go, some nice rose gold on there, and it's not dissimilar to that. Now I'm going to run them all through my die cutting machine with this die. Right, I've got 4 piles of squares here and a sheet of double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to stick my squares, alternating them onto this sheet. And then once I've done that, I'm going to do some more die cutting. I've used all my squares now. I'm just going to remove this from this sheet. So I'm really happy with that. I love the colour mixture. I love the patterns. I love the metallic in there. I love the texture. When I die cut the dry embossed panel, it did flatten the embossing, but you can still see it. Partly the texture is still there, but also the gilding that I did on it shows up the pattern. I did alternate the teal ones, the peacock feather ones, so sometimes the stripes are going up, sometimes they're going across. And if you wanted to do something like this, you could use individual square dies if you haven't got a cover plate die that cuts lots of squares at once, or whatever shape you want to use. Or you could use a trimmer or a knife or something to cut out squares. What I'm going to do now is disassemble this somewhat. Some of it I'm going to use in blocks. I've got a nice block there. I want to tidy up the edge, make sure that it's nice and straight. I'm thinking a rectangle panel. Right, so we've got a square panel there and a rectangular panel there. I do love a quilted heart pattern, so I'm going to die cut using this die. So that's come out well like that. And this one I'm going to cut a bigger banner from. So I'm thinking this banner can go straight on a card. I'm going to peel a little bit off there, get this lined up where I want it. Make sure it looks straight, and then I can peel off the rest and press it down. Rather like that. Now this one is a little too big, I think, to sit on a 4x6 card. Bang in the middle. So I'm going to pop it up here off to the side and have a little bit hanging off, which I can snip off with scissors. So I'm liking that. This one I'm thinking can go right in the middle and have a nice chunky border around the outside. Yep, like that. This one's going to go in the middle of a square card. I think I want to put a border around that. And I've got some linen textured card here, which I think will be nice, be a little bit different. Pop that there, and I use my trimmer to cut a border. To bevel the edges of this bit of card to make it look more die cut and less trimmer cut, I'm just running around the outside with my embossing tool. I put some tape runner on the back of this and then pop it in the middle of my card. Now, if you were planning your card, setting out to make a card like this, just maybe one square one, you might cut all your squares and then just put some glue or tape on the back of your squares and stick them straight on to your card or the panel, rather than making a whole big sheet which you then cut down. Doesn't matter which way you do it really, it's whatever's easiest for you. I did it this way because I had the idea to die cut the squares and stick them on a bit of sticky, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do after that. Sometimes I don't know until I'm already in the process. Right, so I'm really liking these. What I'm going to do now is die cut some embellishments to pop on top and a sentiment, and then I'll show you the finished cards. I'm back and I've kept these cards really simple. I took some copper glitter cardstock and I die cut out the word thanks for this one, and then I die cut out its shadow or outline in white cardstock. I then put them here, which is about a third of the way in from the left and a third of the way down from the top. So it sits on that intersection of those lines, that sweet spot. And then I punched out some hearts from the glitter cardstock, scattered them around just to draw the eye to the focal point, the sentiment. And then I added some Nouveau Crystal Glaze just to the hearts, not to the word. And these now have a glossy, slightly dimensional finish to them. I did a similar thing with this with Love Die, but this doesn't come with a shadow or an outline die, so it's not got any white behind it. And I think it does benefit from having some white behind it just to create a bit of separation. There's not quite enough contrast there, but I think it works. If you're looking at it close up and face on, you can still read what it says. For this one, I made a happy birthday card, die cut out the words, die cut out the shadows, added some hearts and crystal glaze. And for this last one, I used this Sweet Wishes die. Again, no shadow, but it's quite light in most of the background here, so I think it reads quite well. And I added the hearts with the crystal glaze too. And that's these 4 cards finished and 4 backgrounds busted. I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's given you some ideas of things you can do with your backgrounds and square dies or other shapes that tessellate like hexagons. If it has, I'd love it if you could let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you back here very soon for another background busting video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.